United States asked Tinubu-led Nigerian government to implement Endsars reports, prosecute indicted persons. How will they do it? Will they do it? Buhari did everything to kill that report, and Tinubu is also doing everything to kill that report because Tinubu cannot implement that report because he will be indicted. Tinubu and the governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, had hand in inviting the army into that fight to come and kill the innocent youths. So whatever US is saying, it might be very difficult to implement, because a lot of the people are blaming Tinubu and blaming the governor of Lagos State over that issue. Even though when it happened, Tinubu quickly flew to Germany or so, or France. He flew to France and claimed not to be around during that period. But it's a very serious one. Okay, so the U.S. made the demand at the United Nations Human Rights Council fourth cycle Universal Period Review of Nigeria in Geneva, Switzerland. The United States government has asked President Bola Tinubu's led government, to implement the report of the various Endsars panels of inquiry set up in over 20 states of the Federation to investigate human rights abuses by the security agencies during the 2020 Endsars protest. So the U.S. made the demand at the United Nations Human Rights Council fourth cycle Universal Period Review of Nigeria in Geneva, Switzerland. So a representative of the U.S. government, while addressing some human rights concerns in Nigeria, asked the Nigerian government to take steps to implement the various Endsars report. The U.S. representative also asked the Nigerian government to amend the Nigerian Press Council Act to remove restrictions on freedom of expression and review the standard operating procedure of the armed forces to protect human rights. Vanguard quoted the U.S. representative as saying, "Our main concern is on certain restrictions on Nigerians on the enjoyment of human rights. In the spirit of constructive engagement, we recommend that Nigeria implement recommendations from the state-level investigation panel report on security forces response to the Endsars protest, including prosecution as appropriate of the individuals implicated in the report. Amend the Nigerian Press Act of 1992 to remove restrictions on the freedom of expression, specifically as it implies to online and citizen journalists, and the arbitrary arrest and prosecution of LGBT persons, and amend the Armed Forces Standard Operating Procedure to ensure the protection of human rights and fundamental freedom of all Nigerians." So I can see where they are coming from this matter. They are talking of LGBTQ, that is lesbians, gay, and bisexual, transsexual Q. LGBT is lesbians, gay, bisexual, and transsexuals. Can you imagine? And I'm sure this is the target of this thing now, talking about human rights, because Nigeria has refused to accept this LGBTQ thing, and they're looking for a way to impose this thing on Nigeria. I just hope that Nigeria will know exactly what to do, because they're trying to force us to accept what is not in our culture. Okay? And in response, the Nigeria's Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi San, appreciated the United Nations Human Rights Council's interest in the affair of Nigeria and the recommendations that had been made. Also, the AGF, who reiterated that the issue of credibility of elections in Nigeria do not arise, said that the election was a process which starts from nominations, adding that until the Supreme Court made a pronouncement, the election cannot come to an end. So Fagbemi reportedly said that the issue of credibility of any election in Nigeria does not arise. Election is a process, okay? It's a process, and until the Supreme Court makes any pronouncement, it cannot be regarded as having come to an end. So a pronouncement has been made in respect of the presidential election, and just last week, the last pronouncement was made in respect of governorship elections. So the issue of credibility does not arise at all. It has been confirmed to be in conformity with the laws guiding the conduct of elections in Nigeria. So why are you bringing another topic now? This Fagbemi, we are talking about human rights in Nigeria. You are talking about election. Even in that election, a lot of people were innocently killed and maimed. Who has investigated those killings and those injuries and those electoral violences that took place to bring perpetrators to the book? Nobody has investigated that. This is a political response to what the United Nations and the American government is asking Nigeria to do. What about the Endsars issue? What was Fagbemi's response? He didn't say anything about that. He did not say anything about that. He just dabbled into election matter. Who told you that election matter was not even mentioned by the United Nations and the US representatives? Okay. It was basically on human rights abuses in Nigeria, the implementation of Endsars report, and the LGBT acceptance. On that of LGBT acceptance, Nigerians definitely unanimously, both the good, the bad, the ugly will come together in that matter, and we never accept it because it is not our culture. Okay, but on the issue of the Endsars report, I think people like retired Major General Buratai, okay, General Buratai should be arrested because under his watch, innocent Nigerians were killed massively on that October 20, 2020 in Lagos. And Lagos State Governor cannot claim ignorance over that because it happened under his nose and under his watch. Okay, so, and I'm sure by the time they go deeper, Tinubu might be indicted in a way. So I know that this government will not want to look into that investigation. It was the kangaroo panel that was set up, kangaroo investigation, and all that came out of that investigation is going to be put under the carpet. I am pretty sure of that. This government is not ready to do anything. So all this on the United Nations and United US representatives have spoken in Geneva concerning the review of Nigerian state is just paperwork. This government will not do anything. When it comes to things like this, they will tell you that it's a sovereign nation and nobody will close into the affairs of the country. Oh wow. So let me see, there are 3 comments here. Someone said, let them add 2014 confab report. Government need to admit when they are wrong. The 2014 confab that was done by Goodluck Jonathan before he left office that borders around restructuring of Nigeria, Buhari put that report under the carpet and left it. And I don't see Tinubu touching, even though Tinubu used restructuring as campaign agenda. He is not going to revisit the restructuring agenda in this regime, okay? Because the key thing about that confab is about constitutional review, about restructuring of Nigeria, and about resource control in Nigeria. Those 3 key things are the things that the Hausas are using to chop, and the federal is using to chop at Abuja, so they will not relinquish it. And another key thing there is the implementation of state police to end terrorism in Nigeria. They will still not allow state police to happen. So the country is not ready to restructure. Let's be frank with ourselves. Someone say, US demand. What will you not say? How is it, I'm sure, apart from the political agenda under the LGBTQ, every other thing mentioned is actually very correct if Nigeria is to move forward. Someone say, not true. Okay, who go prosecute? Who to prosecute who? Abi? Who to prosecute who? That is the key thing. Okay, who is going to prosecute who in this matter? Tinubu to prosecute the military or Umfusawolu or the judiciary that Tinubu has put in place? Who go prosecute who in this matter? That is the question. I don't see anybody prosecuting anybody, and so this demand is probably going to fall on deaf ears. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comments.